In today's reports, to start off the week, the tourism of Thailand says it's confident that foreigners won't mind paying the new 500 baht tourism fee. Meanwhile, the government pharmaceutical organization had said the Moderna vaccine is arriving this month, except that it's not. Details on these stories and many more coming right up. Welcome to the Thaiger channel, and you're watching Thailand News Today, your Monday to Friday news roundup straight to your YouTube feed. So be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. All right, so let's start off with some good news before it goes downhill from here. The Thai government has got rid of its list of approved countries and has opened up the Sandbox program to fully vaccinated visitors from anywhere in the world. The Tourism Authority of Thailand has welcomed the move, which means Indonesian and Malaysian tourists can now visit the kingdom. Prior to COVID-19, Malaysia was Thailand's second largest source of foreign arrivals, with over 4 million Malaysian tourists arriving in 2019. In other positive news, the recently announced reduction in mandatory quarantine also applies to those participating in Sandbox programs, with tourists now only required to spend 7 days in their original destination before traveling elsewhere. Sandbox tourists can now visit destinations like Phuket, Got Samui, Got Phangan, and Got Phi Phi. According to officials, the Phuket Sandbox program has welcomed over 38,000 foreign visitors, generating around 2.3 billion baht since its debut on July the 1st. However, a report shows that tourism operators on the southern island are pessimistic about the coming high season. With 90% of the island's hotels shut, they are urging the government to simplify the entry process and to reduce the cost of mandatory PCR tests. Another significant deterrent for foreign tourists is the fact that Thailand is on a no-go list in some countries. Both the United States and the UK are cautioning their citizens against travel to Thailand due to the high infection rate and low vaccination numbers. To make matters worse, tourists returning to the UK from Thailand currently face mandatory hotel quarantine and 2 COVID tests. What a bugger. As Thailand struggles to reboot its decimated tourism sector, the government thought it'd be a good idea to push ahead with a proposed tourism fee and has increased it to 500 baht. The National Tourism Policy Committee originally approved a fee of 300 baht at the start of this year, which it says would be used to develop tourism destinations and provide tourists with insurance benefits. The fee has now increased to 500 baht. Yuttasak Supasorn from the Tourism Authority of Thailand says the extra 200 baht will be used to fund projects aimed at transforming the country's tourism model from mass market to a more high-value, environmentally conscious model, and he's pretty confident tourists won't mind paying for it. Let me quote him here by saying, "The additional costs will not have an impact on tourists as we want to focus on the quality market. We hope this fund will support a national tourism makeover, creating more safe and clean places." End quote. I hope I didn't ruin your meal. The TAT says the fee will be collected from next year, with officials counting on getting 5 billion baht within the first year, based on 10 million foreign arrivals. The TAT and the Tourism and Sports Ministry will set up a committee to decide how they can bill foreign visitors and where the money would go. Just 1 day after the government pharmaceutical organization said the first doses of the Moderna vaccine would arrive in October, it turns out they won't. Zuelik Pharma, the endowed distributor of the Moderna vaccine in Thailand, says delivery had to be postponed to November. The GPO has government approval to procure alternative vaccines for private hospitals, and the agency signed a Moderna procurement contract in July of this year. The distributor says it had been preparing for an early October delivery, but changes were made to the delivery schedule that were beyond its control. A spokesperson says the full consignment of the 1.9 million doses will be delivered in weekly shipments, with between 100,000 and 300,000 arriving each week. A further 6.8 million doses of Moderna will be delivered in the first quarter of 2022, but exact dates cannot be confirmed until the doses have passed quality checks. According to a report, the distributor says it is working closely with Moderna to get the doses delivered as quickly as possible. Well, so far you dropped the ball on that one. It adds that a possible solution could be switching to a new source. Thailand's FDA has approved the Moderna vaccine, making it the fourth COVID-19 vaccine given FDA approval after AstraZeneca, Sinovac, and the Johnson & Johnson single-dose vaccine. Pattaya is accelerating its rollout of COVID vaccinations in preparation for its November opening, with the mayor saying he expects more than 80% of the city to be fully vaccinated by October the 15th. Pattaya City Hospital is being used as the main vaccination center, with up to 2,600 doses of AstraZeneca and Sinopharm being administered each day. Priority in the local inoculation drive is given to the elderly, bedridden patients, and those with chronic diseases or other underlying health conditions. The mayor also said foreign residents are included in the campaign. Also, the vaccination of Thai school students gets underway today, with over 5 million students expected to receive a COVID jab. The vaccination drive is in preparation for the new school term in November. Students between the ages of 12 and 18 will be vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine, starting with those in dark red provinces. However, a report says the Education Ministry is considering giving just one dose to boys due to the risk of a rare side effect that causes inflammation of the heart. As of now, there has been just one case of this in Thailand, with a 13-year-old boy recovering in the hospital. Schools will be able to decide if they want to return fully to in-classroom learning, to continue with remote learning, or to use a mixture of both systems. Where on-site learning resumes, students will need to be kept at least 1.5 meters apart while in classrooms, and there will be a maximum of 25 students permitted per room. From this month, Thai AirAsia is resuming a number of domestic routes, as well as introducing new ones. The low-cost carrier is now operating flights from Bangkok's Dongmueang Airport to Pitsanulok, Nan, Loi, Sakunakorn, Surat Thani, Krabi, and Trang. It will also launch a new route from Chiang Mai to Hua Hin from October the 15th, with flights resuming between Chiang Mai and Phuket from October the 16th. AirAsia's CEO says the carrier is operating 20 domestic routes within Thailand this month. He revealed that the airline has achieved a load factor average of up to 80% during the weekdays and up to 95% at weekends, especially for flights to and from Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, and Hat Yai. He believes tourism operators will begin to see a stronger recovery during the final quarter of this year, as guests are getting more familiar with the different travel requirements. AirAsia is also an advocate of the digital health pass in the Mawprom app, which is used to prove a passenger's vaccination status and holds COVID-19 test results. Gunmen opened fire on a passenger train in the deep south province of Yala, damaging the train's braking system. All southbound trains to Narathiwat are being terminated in Yala, and the State Railway Labor Union is calling for increased security measures. Local police say gunmen were reportedly hiding in the trackside bushes and fired shots at the train as it passed through the province's Raman district around 5 p.m. yesterday. Territorial defense volunteers on board fired shots at the attackers, and the driver of the train continued to drive the train to the next station. Reports say 6 bullets hit the train, damaging the braking system, and 1 hit the first passenger car. Insurgent-related violence happens frequently in the southeast province near the Malaysian border. And that's all for the reports I have for you today, but do check out the video that just popped up to continue watching content on the channel. Meanwhile, you're now up to date on the Thaiger.